Welcome to the final Warp Tour. Oh boy. Welcome to Warp Tour. I have no idea what gate I'm supposed to be at. I got a real microphone, by the way, so yay. I think I found where I'm supposed to be. There's no tent up yet for the TEI workshop I'm supposed to be at, but I think they're still getting everything set up. This happens every year. We're still setting up. 9:26. Officially, this workshop is supposed to start in 4 minutes, but I don't see any tent up, so I'm just gonna do what I do every year and roll with it, because in all the years I have been coming to Warp Tour, this setup has not gotten better. Fun times. I've just heard that they've changed parking for some people. I feel bad for them. I'm very grateful to have gotten a ride. Warp Tour is not over until something goes absolutely chaotic. The hallmark of standing in a Warp Tour line is free CDs. I don't know what sort of a mess is going on here, but apparently this is the can drop. Usually it's more sophisticated, but something's up. I don't think they know quite what they're doing with organization today. I see tents. It's happening. It's happening. Activity. We are putting up a tent. I mean, the first TEI workshop that I'm supposed to be going to is a free workshop, so I guess nothing is really lost if this falls through. But, you know, I was kind of hoping that it would go through and there would be a workshop. Oh well. You roll with the punches on Warp Tour. We are in line. The workshop was canceled, apparently, due to flooding and lack of coordination, I guess. And communication, yeah.
Yep.
It
Just
no communication. Now we're just waiting, figuring out what we're doing.
Slowly.
Walking slowly to the entrance. It's Warp Tour. Okay, so it has been absolute chaos here. Caroline and I have been here for about an hour, and people are only just figuring out what they're doing. So Caroline actually ran off. She went to go see the main. I am waiting around for doll skin. I already hit up the Palaye Royale merch tent because I am a sucker. And I got Palaye Royale. The giant red one, that is, not the little tiny one. I don't know why they're charging $40 for 4 eyeshadows. Like, that is ridiculous. But anyway, I mean, their merch prices aside, so far everything looks absolutely chaotic here. I have no idea where I'm going. I just hope that I make the TEI workshop that I'm supposed to go to on time. The other one, that is, the photo pit one, because that's the one that I'm really, really pumped up for. So I am going to head off and go find out what's going on with doll skin.
I said, what the fuck is up? Let me hear ya! We are Doll Skin from Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you guys so much for fucking coming out this early in the morning. This is the first time we're gonna play for you today. It's the first time we ever wrote together as a band.
So I found the TEI tent earlier, then I lost the TEI tent, and I need to actually get a move on it because I had to leave the set early because my workshop is right after that set is over. And I have no idea where I'm going. Thanks, Kevin Lyman. I think I finally found it. At least on the other side of a fence. For some reason, the Palaye Royale photo pit only allowed us to be in there for 2 songs instead of the usual 3, but I got some good photos, I think. I don't know, it's kind of hard to take photos because they kept stepping up way too close to the photo pit. just because there's not enough space in the photo pit to actually get a good spot. So anyway, I made an unplanned detour today. I went to the photo workshop, but then afterwards I was like, you know what, why not? Let's go to another TEI workshop. So I went to Chris Motionless Gives a Pep Talk for $25. Actually, it was way better than that. It was a lot better than just like him talking at us. We actually did get to ask him some questions, and it was really, really cool, actually. Chris is a really great guy. I really, really hope more musicians take after Chris Motionless, because he's just a really cool dude. Got my earplugs in. Protect your hearing. If you like this music, it would be a good idea to be able to hear that music later. Always protect your hearing, friends. I don't know if you can see, but the line for this signing is insane. Various motives for trying to track Emerson down. He gave me a book back in March, and I am trying to ask him some questions about it, but it's crazy around these parts right now. So I guess I'm looking for a lucky in. This is the crowd for the Palaye Royale TEI workshop, the post-workshop crowd. Well, that's a lot of people. Okay, so today has been very, very scattered. So here's the basic recap of the day. So we got here, me and my friend Caroline. We stood in line for not nearly as long as we anticipated. We all got kind of put in the venue early, which was kind of weird. And once we got in there, it was clear that the organization of the whole venue is kind of a mess. But, I mean, part of that is, that's just Merriweather's Warped Tour. But at the same time, it's like, wow, that's a little less organized than normal. Partially because of the rain, I'm sure, that we've been having over the last week. Partially because just it's the last Warped Tour. Partially because there are just more people here than I have ever seen before. I don't know if it's sold out here, but it sure feels sold out. It's packed. So anyway, I'm sticking around for a bit, still trying to talk to Emerson Barrett about his book. Because I read that book and I have some things that I liked, some things that I didn't like, some questions, and then some what on earth questions? I don't know. I'm trying to talk to the guy because I do want to review his book. I do want to actually understand where he is coming from. But it seems like a scattered mess at the moment. So I'm hoping maybe he can shed some light on the situation, or... So yeah, I'm hoping that I can get to talk to Emerson, but I don't know if it's going to be possible. However, it will not be for lack of trying. There is a small bee right by my hand. I didn't use my photo pass as much as I was planning on it, but I might try later. Just jump into a pit. All the bands that I really, really like have already played. I got to do photo in Motionless's pit, which was great. It was so good. And like that's kind of been my dream ever since I started coming to Warped Tour, was to do photo in their pit. So finally at long last. Also did photo, of course, in Palaye's pit. Earlier I did photo for Tonight Alive. I kind of wanted to do photo for Dollskin, but they played first before I got my photo pass, so I wasn't able to. Darn though, and I missed their meet and greet as well because I was in the Lisa Johnson Life in the Pit workshop, the photo workshop that gave me the pass that I have to go into all the pits. I absolutely randomly sprung for Palaye's Q&A. Not really sure if that was necessarily worth it, but you know, it's whatever. I did miss being in the Good Charlotte photo pit for that, but I caught the tail end of the set, and I was dancing with this other girl waiting to get something signed right after the Palaye Q&A. So we were kind of just standing there. We could hear the Good Charlotte set from where we were getting stuff signed, and we were dancing, we were having a ball out there. It was fun. This is the Warped Tour that I love. This is the Warped Tour that I'm gonna miss. I'm not gonna miss the people shoving their way around. I'm not going to miss the crazy atmosphere that just kind of inspires anxiety, I guess is the best way to put it. But I am going to miss those little moments where you're having fun, you're dancing with a random stranger, you're nodding your head, you're head banging, you're gonna have a bang over in the morning. And that is what I am here for. It's kind of bittersweet this being the last Warped Tour, but we'll be alright. We're gonna find something. I have the one true Warped Tour dinner. The true pop punk food. Hello and welcome to Terrible Lighting R Us. I have exited the venue and oh boy, that was a day. I am exhausted and very sore, especially on this shoulder because I had my camera strap hanging off of me the whole time. But man, that was good. That was a good end to Warped Tour. I ended up giving half of my pizza to the poor Palaye Royale merch guy because he had not gotten to go to catering since he had been running the whole merch thing, so he didn't get food. So I ended up giving him my pizza. And then I did finally manage to track down Emerson and ask him some questions about his book. Did I get a terribly clear answer? Not really. But hopefully I can contact him and get more answers, because I really do want to understand what went into that book. It's essentially someone's diary. Originally I was going to review it as just any old book, but how do you review someone's diary? And it's not old enough to be considered a great classic work of literature where you get to ponder things and the meaning of life through time, looking at things in their cultural contexts. Although certainly you can look at his book in a cultural context. It's not within a historical context, which is usually how we read and review diaries. So think Anne Frank, think Thomas Pepys. We usually review it in a historical context, or this is a contemporary context, so I would be reviewing it in a cultural context. So I've got to figure out how to do that. How to really, I have to reread it, have to look it over, have to figure out exactly what the messages are and how it relates to modern culture, how it relates to what we think of. And personally, I would want to relate it to how do we think of contemporary culture with fame? How do we think of famous people? Because that's something I've always found interesting. We put famous people up on a pedestal, and we don't necessarily know why all the time. It's just we put successful, attractive people on pedestals, and I don't have an answer for it. I don't have an answer for why all these teen girls are lined up to say hello to some guy in a silly hat. I love that silly hat, though. I just love vintage styles. But I have no answers to this. So right now, I am waiting to get picked up because Caroline had to go home early, and that took my original ride with it. But anyway, I'm glad I got to stay late. I'm glad I got to really experience the last Warped Tour. I got to run around, I got to listen to bands, I got to take photos, I got to talk to some great people, and now it's time to go home. Get back to the grind of art, get back to the grind of writing. Work hard so that one day I have people looking at me and asking to talk to me for my art. I never want to be famous. I absolutely never want to be famous. If anything, meeting a family member of a world-famous person taught me that I never want to be famous. It's absolute hell on everyone. What does fame get you? Money? Not necessarily. Love? Absolutely not necessarily. I never want to be famous, but I want to be recognized for my art. And I think that's all that any artist can really hope for, is to be recognized and appreciated. In that way, I very much admire Emerson Barrett. Having branded himself as an artist, as a musician, I would never want to get to the level of fame that he's at, where there's a mile upon miles upon miles of people waiting to meet him after a show, all waiting to give him a weird, sweaty hug. But I very much appreciate where he has gotten, and I very much appreciate what he's done with his art. And I hope that one day I will get to a point where I can appreciate my own work and my own art. If anything, Warped Tour this year has inspired me to do more. If this is the end of Warped Tour, then something must come next. I know that another tour is going to come along. I know that for a fact. Like, there is going to be something else. Even Palaye was talking about starting their own weird traveling circus. Something will come along. And I don't necessarily want to be part of that until, I know what I would be getting into. But I want to be part of something with my work. I want to be part of something with my art. And that's pretty much all any artist can hope for, is to be part of something. To have one's art appreciated and to make an impact somewhere. Just make an impact in someone's day, in someone's life, anything. Maybe that is why, at the root of it, why we create, to make an impact.